Like all Pokémon games on the Switch, Pokémon Legends ZA is not worth full price. Pokémon Legends ZA costs too much for what it is. The problem with voting with your wallet is that people with bigger wallets get more votes. From the recent leaks, the budgets of the Pokémon Switch games are as follows in US dollars. Sword and Shield cost 16 million USD, DLC was about 2.5 million. Pokémon Legends Arceus cost about $14 million. Scarlet and Violet's budget is around 21.5 million US dollars. DLC was over budget at 9.3 million and was planned to only cost 3.2 million US dollars. Pokémon Legends ZA was estimated to cost 13 million US dollars to make, minuscule amounts by today's standards, but it does lead credence to the belief that the Pokémon company is just trying to widen those profit margins as much as possible. Again, the budget of Legends ZA is about $13 million. Compared to actual AAA games like The Last of Us 2 that cost more than $200 million to make, Legends ZA only needs to sell 200,000 copies to break even. Insane profit margin. The Pokémon company is min-maxing greed. With how much mainline Pokémon games sell, this is a budget designed to never have to worry about not making profit. Even just selling 1 million copies of the game gives him a hefty profit. Generation 10 is estimated to cost 20 million US dollars, a similar budget to Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. They just don't want to reinvest their profits into the games. Pokémon Legends ZA has been almost finished since 2023. They're charging increasingly more, asking for top dollar, while trying to decrease their own expenses. The asking price of the game is simply too high. It kinda irks me that Urbane or Tawny will battle you for the right to subdue the tower with AZ's Floet, then you win and they do it anyways. Why promise for the winner to go with Mega Floet just to immediately say psych if you do win? Actually, never mind, I don't care what the player wants, I'm going to do this anyway. They went against their promise and against the player's wishes. It doesn't come off as doing what's right. It could have been written better. Our goal for the Pokémon games is to keep costs low, as Gamefreak states in their internal documents. Going forward, we will keep the DLC at an appropriate scale commensurate with the revenue and focus on achieving low costs. I will be skipping the DLC for Legends ZA. The Teraleaker revealed that Gamefreak wasn't happy with the amount of money they spent making the DLCs for Scarlet and Violet. They are fixing that this time. It is the most expensive DLC for a Pokémon game thus far, and from the looks of things, will likely offer the least amount of new content. They don't have any benefit of the doubt left. They've squandered it. There's this nice analogy I've read online. People need to equate this to going to a restaurant. If you pay $60 and they bring out McDonald's chicken nuggets and fries, you'd be disappointed. Maybe there's a new sauce that's exciting, but is that enough to take what was kind of mediocre and price gorge it for $60? Absolutely not. Pokémon mainline games will never have voice acting. Why? Because voice actors cost too much. Looking at the budgets of Pokémon mainline games, the Pokémon company have shown an unwillingness to reinvest financially in the main games. If you're getting voice actors, you have got to pay them, even if they're not good. For such a large IP, you'll also need voice actors of different languages. You can't only have Japanese voice actors, they'd have to pay for English voice actors at least, too. Pokémon already runs a tight ship with controlling the flow of information to the public. Voice actors would increase the risk of leaks. I just don't expect Pokémon to increase their expenses by paying for voice acting. Their whole design ethos is keeping costs low. They just keep making it the bare minimum while charging the fans premium. How does Pokémon games sell so much? In the leaked documents, they state 2 versions will increase sales. I think people underestimate just how much having 2 versions increases sales. You sell the same game twice without the expenses of developing a separate game. Pokémon games have heavily inflated sales numbers by its 2 versions. Not everyone buys both versions of Pokémon games, but I think it's higher than you'd expect. Let's say hypothetically, 2 versions of the same game increases the sales number by a factor of 1.5. If a Pokémon game sells 10 million copies with 1 version, I think having 2 copies would increase the total sales to like 15 million. That's a substantial and significant amount that people would overlook. two versions of the same game is one of the major contributors to Pokemon's high sale numbers. Pokemon Legends ZA lacks meaningful content. The Infinite ZA Royale never changes besides scaling and difficulty. It is the exact same loop every time and gets boring late game. It is a chore to do the Infinite ZA Royale 15 times to get Eternal Flower Floet and 20 times total to get the last side quest. The wild zones are small and can be explored in under 10 minutes each, making for around 4 hours of exploration and interacting with Pokemon. The rooftops are extremely lackluster too, with maybe one good Pokemon standing there or pacing forward, back, left or right. Maybe a Pokeball on a rooftop and some Mega Crystals too. The side choices are nearly all the same shallow, battle me, catch this Pokemon, trade me this Pokemon, hit this hole over elevator, show me, give me, with very few unique ones with any sort of depth. No wonder they have 119 side quests, like half of them are a single battle. Beyond that, the postgame is just getting Xerneas, Yveltal and Zygarde. Once you've done all the main missions and side quests, you're just shiny hunting because there's no other substance to the game. Had this been the entire Kalos region, the lack of content in Lumiose City would have made sense because there would be so much more to explore and experience. But for a steep $100 New Zealand dollars new, yes, there is an obvious lack of quality, meaningful content in this game. You can't even go into Lumiose Tower in Pokemon Legends ZA.